Karsten Runquist.
Podcast. That's the name of the podcast.
That's the new name of the podcast?
Karsten Runquist Podcast.
Yeah.
From what language did English borrow the word ketchup?
Ketchup?
Yeah, from what language did English borrow the word ketchup?
All right. So the thing I'm conflicted about is that I thought tomatoes were native to North America.
Right. Yep.
Which that doesn't help much because
no.
Or even Central America.
If you want a hint, I don't think you're gonna get it.
Here's what I'm just gonna go for it. Dutch.
Okay. That is wrong. It is Malay.
Okay, I was not even close.
So yeah,
I was not even.
I wish it had more
that makes
background.
Sense, though.
Yeah, right.
No,
right?
because we played a lot of GeoGuessr, and you see Malay signs, and they have a lot of those letters in their language.
Yeah. So it makes sense, but just a little fun fact as usual to start the podcast. How's it going? I'm back. Well, I'm actually not back in my normal spot. I'm stuck here.
You're back in my
corner.
In your corner.
There's
a whole
closet.
reason you're in the corner.
Yeah, it's fine. I got the new mic stand from Blue. Not sponsored, but great mic stand. I will say. I kind of really.
I've
like
seen
it.
a lot of people use that exact mic stand, so I imagine it's really good.
It's the only mic stand they sell at Best Buy, so I'd imagine that might be a reason why. But I went to Best Buy and they were like, "This is all we got," and I was like, "All right, that'll do.
I'll take it.
That'll do." Yeah, I've had a really good 2 days. Like nothing that great has happened, but it's like I've just had 2 days where everything I kind of wanted to do that day happened. It was exactly what I wanted it to be. It's like I kind of, watched movies. I've been playing a lot of pool. I've been going to pool bars, thinking about joining a league.
You're
bowling.
sharking people out of money.
I'm getting there. That's my week has been good. I'm
You
getting into
saw
it.
the Midnight Shrek.
I saw the Midnight Shrek, which we're not going to talk about, but maybe the funniest event I've ever been to. It was like one of those room screenings of The Room where people scream the entire film, but with Shrek. It was hilarious. It was so funny.
Okay, I also want to mention your Instagram story.
Yes.
The way they did what's the board where they put the movie titles? What's that called?
Marquee? No.
Ooh, I think that's right.
I think that's
right.
No, let me double check. But yeah,
I was like, we're a movie podcast. We should know what that thing's called.
Yeah, it's the Marquee.
There you go. So you knew. You're the expert.
So yeah, the Music Box is playing 3 movies this week.
Mm-hmm.
These movies, as listed on the marquee, are Men, Pleasure, Shrek. Which is so good.
That is so funny. Dude, I just imagine when they were putting that up, they were just laughing the entire time.
Yeah. It's so funny that Men and Pleasure are having their theatrical run at the same time because it makes for some really... There's another one that said Pleasure, Men, Top Gun, which is... Not as good as Men, Pleasure, Shrek. I gotta say, Music Box
nothing ever will.
Won this week. A24 reposted it and everything. It's it's a whole thing.
Yeah. Speaking of Men, and we're not going to get into it yet. This is a throwback to the beginning of the podcast where I just routinely would not watch the movie.
Yeah, which is
I did not watch Men.
You did not watch Men.
Yeah, so we're not going to spend too much time on it, but you'll get into it a little bit
later. I have
later.
some shit to say about Men, for sure. I want to talk about it.
I almost went to it, and then I'm like, I don't really want to see this. So I was like, Carson, you want to just record today, and then I won't watch it?
Yeah. No, do you want to just talk about it right now? Or...
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Okay. Men, latest film from Alex Garland. He is the director of Ex Machina, and Annihilation. Jeff, have you seen either of those?
I've not seen either of those.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'm a big fan of both of those movies. I think they're both really cool sci-fi movies. Honestly, Jeff, if you liked like Her, I feel like there's something Her-esque about After Yang. That's a great he's kind of like one of those directors who's really good at making movies like that. And Men, what do you mean?
Really quick. What if instead of the Shrek, Her was also playing?
Men pleasure her. That's
really you could replace almost anything with that last one and it will work.
Her pleasure men. Anyway.
Yeah.
Pleasure
her men.
Pleasure her men. Oh
actually
God,
works,
that one works as well. And Men, well, is a kind of a detour from what he usually does, but it's also very much like a modern horror movie, like produced by A24 or distributed, I should say.
Yeah, Wikipedia had it listed as a folk horror, which I did not understand at all what folk horror means.
It's every like folk. This isn't true, actually. I was gonna say like most folk horror films that have come out in the last few years are just it's any A24 movie. It's like that's kind of how you can describe
Midsommar?
them. Yeah, Midsommar, The Witch.
I haven't seen that either.
Yeah. The synopsis for this movie is: in the aftermath of a personal tragedy, Harper retreats alone to the beautiful English countryside, hoping to find a place to heal. However, someone or something from the surrounding woods appears to be stalking her. What begins as simmering dread soon becomes a fully formed nightmare, inhabited by her darkest memories and fears. And it stars Jessie Buckley, who was in The Lost Daughter, and I'm Thinking of Ending Things, and also Rory Kinnear.
Did they ever find that otter?
Did they ever find what otter?
The lost otter.
The lost otter. Still on the lookout. No, they have not found it yet. Now Rory Kinnear plays, I think, like 12 different people in the movie. It's one of the, like, you've seen Anomalisa, right? Have you seen Anomalisa? Okay,
I have.
It's kind of like that, where it's like the same guy in a bunch of different makeup, all in the same room. He's a patron at the bar. He's also the bartender. He's the police that comes in. And that aspect of it was really cool. It's got like a really surreal, like, it's a very surreal horror movie where weird things keep happening.
That's the vibe I absolutely got.
That's the vibe you get.
I also don't love horror.
So that's yeah.
As
soon as it finished, I was like, maybe Jeff won't see this one. I was like, perhaps it's best he skipped out on it. Because
when you proposed this film, I didn't know anything about it, and then afterwards, when I was looking up like showtimes, I looked up the synopsis, and I'm like,
I don't know if that's your thing. Yeah,
I don't know about the whole stalking in the woods and
yeah.
You know, because I stalk people in the woods.
You're like, I don't know if that's. I want to see myself on screen.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like that's relevant to why I thought I didn't want to see it. But I mean, I've seen enough stalking in the woods, right? Like someone's at a campsite, you see them, they don't see you.
Exactly.
It's one of those.
It's one of those situations. Well, there is a stalker in the woods who is a naked man. I won't give too much away with this movie, but it's revealed it's just like this naked man, also played by Rory Kinnear.
My stalking was not naked.
Not naked, just normal.
Yeah.
Total
normal stalking,
innocent stalking. Yeah. And I don't know. I didn't like the movie, is what I'll say, which is kind of it was I don't know what I was expecting, but I kind of expected to like it because I really liked Annihilation. I really like Ex Machina. He's a really great director, and this was just a total. It felt unfinished. It was like a very messy. I guess a good way of summing it up is, and I know you didn't see this movie either, but now you froze. But all that aside, it's like it's a bad movie if it's trying to be a feminist movie, which it 100% is. But all that aside, it's also just it kind of compensates for the lack of I don't know, characters that it has in trying to be also this like Christian metaphor. Like it has a lot of Christianity, Christian themes in it. And I grew up like in a Catholic environment, and I went to like Sunday school and all that. I don't really remember a lot, but but even not really knowing that much, I was able to pick it out. It's like very in your face.
You went to Sunday school?
I would go to Sunday school.
I went to Sunday school, but mine was a Jewish Sunday school.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We just spun a dreidel.
We had the same.
A lot.
That sounds fun. And the thing about movies like that is they always are kind of like an eye roller to me when there's like some religious like metaphor going on. It's because I'm like, this kind of happens with Mother. It's like trying to add depth to a movie that did not need that, and it does not save the movie by any means. It's like just making it like a religious thing underneath does not add a whole lot to the conversation. And I think this is a prime example of that, where I'm like, the movie was unfinished and they were kind of like, well, how do we make this deeper? And it became like a whole very in your face, like nailed to the cross imagery thing. And I'm like, this does not save the movie by any means. I will say, and that's my one big issue with it. My second big issue is, and I feel like I was talking to my friends about this, a lot of people say online how it's like, obviously A24 is not a person, it's a company, and they're all different filmmakers. But I'm like, if we can critique Marvel movies for all looking and feeling the same, I feel at this point that we can kind of do the same with A24 movies, because this feels like an amalgamation of like every A24 movie I've seen in the last 5 years in one. And it gets a little...
It's real, though.
Frustrating.
I mean, even though...
They have a look.
And it's because people set out, trying to make an A24 film. So they're just following like a method. They all have the same like color, a lot of the similar cinematography.
Yeah. They hire really good DPs. They have great VFX most of the time. It's like they take otherwise like kind of campy B horror movies and make them look really polished and nice, and make people like, oh, it's like actually like horror can be so like nice looking and like
when
artistic.
You said B horror movies, the first thought was like a horror movie about bees. Yeah,
about bees.
Which,
that
actually is scary.
which I think we should pitch that to A24 and call it.
We have to have like tons of VFX meeting. We're like, we need like 500,000 bees in this scene.
We're asking at a minimum 500,000.
That's the thing that's gonna get you. You gotta make an algorithm so that they all can generate different faces. One of them needs a top hat though. That's the queen.
One of them needs it. That's the queen. Yeah. No, not a crown.
Top
a top
hat.
It's
a classy bee.
Yeah.
Okay. My favorite critique you had of this movie was that you said that it was bad if it was trying to be a feminist film. And then you said, "Wish it is."
Yeah.
Well,
that's the thing,
is
like
a bad film.
It's a bad movie.
That's fine. It's just the way you phrased it was like, if this thing is trying to be this thing, it's terrible, and it is trying to be that thing. it is.
Yeah.
So it sucks.
There is a scene at the end that I do not want to spoil, but one crazy thing happens, like something comes out of someone.
Is it bees?
And it's not bees, no. And it's it's the first time you see it, you're like, oh my god. That same thing then happens like 2 more times, and like beat for beat. And it's like when it happens the 3rd time, you're like, okay, get on with it. And then it happens like 2 more times.
Yeah.
At this point, it's like this one action has happened, and that when it happens the 5th time, you're like, this is kind of hilarious that it keeps happening.
Okay.
It's like an Adult Swim thing where they keep the joke going, and the longer it gets played out and overplayed, the funnier.
I'm
going
to take one shot at guessing what it is.
Okay.
And if I'm right, we'll bleep it. But I won't be right because I have never seen this film and do not know anything about it.
Right.
You said it's something that comes out of someone.
Yes.
Okay. And it's definitely not peanut butter.
It's we've ruled that out.
Yeah. I'm going to say tapeworm.
No. It's not. God, it's such a weird scene. It's kind of, that's the thing, is like the movie has a lot of like really funny
Oh, you said it's religious.
That's the thing.
Is it Jesus?
It's not Jesus, but you could probably like make a
like
stretch,
some kind of allegory or something.
Yeah, it could be like, no, that is Jesus.
Like, in a way,
blah, 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 blah.
It is Jesus.
If I'm being honest, it probably does symbolize Jesus. Now that I think about it, and I'm just like,
it's a baby, but it comes out the mouth. So it's like a reverse rebirth.
I will say no more. You're getting closer, and I'm not gonna.
Okay. I won't say any more.
Yeah.
Also, if that is close, that sounds horrible.
If this movie was a comedy, it would be phenomenal. It's a hilarious. Someone actually beat me to it on Letterboxd. I think his name is like Matt Lynch, and said an amazing A24 parody, but is unfortunately not an A24 parody because it is. It's like there's a scene of a guy like in some hut. He's bald and he's naked, and he like has his forehead is like cut open, and he puts a leaf in that cut. And I'm like, this is literally like you put an AI in charge of making an A24 movie. It's like, which is obviously like they've made some great movies. They've specifically horror movies. Like they've done a lot to that genre specifically. They've elevated it, and it's like a great Spree. Like it's a great thing. Like they didn't even do Spree, but yeah, that's a great example. But it's like the issue I had with this was that like it because it's an amalgamation of like everything they've done before. It's like, why are we even watching it? It's just like watching a greatest hits of shit we've already seen done better. That was shocking the first time, but like now it's like a Marvel movie where it's like you've seen this like multiverse crossover thing before, and it's like you can only do it so many times before it's like kind of overplayed and just redundant. And this felt like it wasn't doing anything new or interesting. Yeah. And the fact that it was trying to be this feminist movie just made it all the more frustrating. I was like, what an annoying waste of time.
I have an idea for an A24 Marvel movie.
Yeah.
It's what if Iron Man was bad? And also he was addicted to gambling on Greyhound racing.
Uh-huh. You should pitch that.
He spends a lot of time at the Greyhound track. It's going to be filmed in St. Petersburg, Florida, at the Greyhound track. That no longer hosts Greyhound racing because of a bill that I helped vote for. We've banned Greyhound racing in the state of Florida. We did it.
Congratulations, Jeff. Yeah.
No more racing those Greyhounds.
My only memory of like Greyhound racing is that Simpsons holiday special, which is where they find Santa's little helper or whatever his name is.
In Ocean's 12, I believe, there's a scene shot at that Greyhound track that I'm talking about. I used to work at a summer camp like right next to it.
Wow.
At Weeden Island.
That's crazy.
There's tortoises there.
I want to say that to piggyback off what you said, I think A24 has already made a Marvel movie, and it's Everything Everywhere All at Once because it's a multiverse.
Yeah, because you marveled at that movie.
We marveled at that movie. Second, I don't know if you saw this viral TikTok. I actually referenced it in my video 2 weeks ago of this person being like, I think Marvel should make art house movies where it's like, it's not necessarily about superheroes, but it's about like a lawyer in the MCU, and we track that lawyer. And I'm like, how damaged have you?
Like, why does that have to
what
exist
happened?
In the Marvel? Like,
I know
why does it have to be Marvel at that point.
I'm like, there are movies about lawyers that aren't in the MCU.
So like,
she's like, like Tony Stark's doctor.
How would that work?
Movie.
It's like you just see like it's a lawyer, and then you just see he's eating dinner. Yeah. You see a news story on TV. Yeah, like flying superheroes save the day.
Right.
And he's like,
so
honey,
Marvel
look at
fans
that.
Can be like, oh yes, they did the Hulk. I'm just like, so anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I had a little bit of fun with the movie, which is why I don't think it's a total. I said it was a waste of time. It's not a total waste of time because some of it, as a horror fan, that's the thing is like, I was laughing at scenes that were 100% not supposed to be funny, and some of it is like kind of tongue in cheek. There's a thing with a hand that is very funny and very cool. That's probably the best part of the movie. Yeah.
Look at that.
Like, you want to see something fucked up?
For anyone listening to the audio podcast, I did a very cool magic trick with my hands.
Yeah, which does not happen in Men, but if they did do it in Men, it may have been a better movie because of it. I think it was just a very huge disappointment from a director who is like pushing sci-fi boundaries to retract into these like just generic folk horror movies as they are described as.
What you're saying is they are still pushing boundaries. They just this time they pushed it in the wrong direction.
They pushed it in the wrong direction.
They pushed it back towards the other boundary.
Yeah, they pushed it back. Yeah. So I
What's
think
your rating?
that's it. Just I gave it like a 2.5 out of 5, but I think it would be closer to a 2 the more it sat with me. I'm like, truly just a very forgettable movie. Like nothing to really anything that it did well has been done better in name any A24 movie. Like because it's kind of like them throwing their greatest.
Wait, the Chance the Rapper one
with Mike Brunleib. Not that one. That's actually the worst.
Me. You said name anyone.
You did. I did. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's if you want to watch this, go for it. I wouldn't say it's got cool ideas, but not my thing. That's my Men rant.
The way we won't talk about that. It sounds like it's like
That's my rant on Men.
That's what the title of the episode should be. Karsten's Men Rant.
You should title it that.
I just feel like people wouldn't, because you'd have to listen to it to get the joke, and then people just wouldn't click on it because they'd be like, I don't want to hear that.
I don't want to hear that guy talk about men.
So we this episode was, brought to you by Manscaped. Manscaped. Father's Day is coming up. They have a tremendously good nose hair trimmer that you could buy for that father or multiple fathers in your life.
Yes.
You want to say something about that nose hair trimmer?
I was just gonna say, we've all dealt with nose hair. It's something that gets in the way, but you don't realize how good it feels to get it out of the way until you actually do something about it. And it's hard to find a good nose hair trimmer, and Manscaped has a great
it's
nose
called
hair
the
trimmer.
Weed Whacker.
I should have brought
It's currently on sale, 25% off, and then you get an additional 20% off and free worldwide shipping with our code KCAST. So go to manscaped.com/products/Weed Whacker. There's a hyphen, weed-whacker. I mean, if you just go to manscaped.com, you'll also find it. It's the Weed Whacker.
You'll find it.
$29.99 on sale, 25% off as of right now, and an additional 25 or 20% off and free worldwide shipping with code KCAST. That's KCAST. It's great. It's a great nose hair trimmer. I trim my nose hair sometimes.
Yeah.
Never get snagged. Very satisfied. Manscaped.
Whack those weeds. All right.
So, Karsten, this chair, I got to do something about that.
I'm here in the chair now.
We watched some trailers for upcoming films because I didn't watch Men. And instead,
we did watch some
you're
trailers.
Like, let's watch some trailers for upcoming films. And oh boy, did we.
Where to start? I think I sent 3. Is that
you
correct?
sent 3, and I also have an additional one that I didn't send you, but I want to talk about.
Uh-oh. What could it be? I guess where should we start?
Let's go in order. The ones you sent. So you started with Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Now,
okay, hype meter, hype rating, 1 to 5. 5 being most hype.
1 to 5. Oh, 5 be. Oh, I thought you were gonna give it 1.
No. I'm saying 1, 5 is the scale. 5 is most hype. How hype are you for this film?
I'm gonna go a solid 3 out of 5. I'm
4.
You're 4 for
Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
I was not. I will be honest. I discovered this through a TV ad, which
you're the one guy who's watching TV still.
Yeah, I was like, I was with my family. And I was like, that looks bad. And then I did a little bit more. It was a TV ad, so they always shorten it for like 30 seconds, and obviously it never comes out okay. Speaking as someone who edits, and like the reviews have been surprisingly positive.
Oh, have they? I gave my hype rating without knowing that.
I honestly picked it because like people, and I haven't been like out searching for Chip and Dale reviews. I'm not that curious, but people on Twitter, friends like John Oppenheimer,
is this out already?
Said it is out. We could see it honestly maybe next week. It's Chip and Dale episode.
Possibly.
It's but right off the bat, stacked cast. We got John Mulaney, who has gotten himself into some hairy situations today.
Wait, today?
And I would say it's like today, yesterday, this week, I guess.
No.
Have you heard about it? It was like, really? He brought Dave Chappelle out as a surprise opener, and Dave Chappelle did his thing, which is told like 20 minutes of transphobic jokes to an audience of John Mulaney fans.
That's not really. That's not the transphobic crowd generally.
No. So apparently, not confirmed, but he bombed. Which is kind of funny. Dave Chappelle bombs at this as an opener. But yeah. Anyways,
I stayed at the same hotel as Dave Chappelle once in Madison, Wisconsin.
Did you?
Yeah,
really?
Like what happened was we were checking in, and Dave Chappelle checked in, like I guess right in front of us. And then we got in the elevator at the same time, and I didn't realize this was Dave Chappelle because I wasn't like looking around. But then I looked back when I was standing in the elevator next to him, and then my family got the elevator like a floor, and then he kept going up, and then I turned to my parents and go, "Was that Dave Chappelle?" And it was, because I looked it up, and he was doing like a tour in like 2 days in Madison, Wisconsin, or 3 days.
What year was
this would
this
have
again?
been like 2015.
Wow, because that's like, now I'm not totally in touch, but like I know there was a period of time where like Dave Chappelle was like a rare thing.
This was like right when he started getting back into touring, I think. But yeah, he and then he also kept going for jogs like around the hotel. Every time we left the hotel, we would see him jogging. He's really into jogging.
Wow. Now, should also mention someone we're both pretty big fans of. Tim Robinson is in Chip and Dale. And he plays Ugly Sonic, which is sounds bad, but
that doesn't sound bad. That sounds great.
I kind of really want to see it.
I am. I also love how to differentiate Chip and Dale. They made one of them 2D and one 3D.
Yeah. This is what Tom and Jerry should have been.
Oh yeah, Tom and Jerry played it like safe to appeal to like the lowest intelligence children.
Absolutely.
This one's for smart children.
Chip and Dale is just going for it. Yeah. This is for the I think you should leave fans below the age of 10. Now the other one I sent was
3,000 Years of Longing.
3,000 Years of Longing.
The Idris Elba genie movie.
Yep. Now, do you want to talk a little bit about it? Because I actually forgot that we were watching beforehand, and this is the one I didn't watch. So I'm going to watch it.
Not at all quick. Like the Chip and Dale. Not even a little bit.
No, it's probably, if I'm being honest, my most anticipated trailer.
Oh.
Or not just trailer, but film of the year.
Yeah.
Because I'm a huge fan of Fury Road, Mad Max Fury Road, George Miller's last movie, and this looks like that, like just pumped up even more. Like it just looks crazy. I'm also a fan of Happy Feet, which he also did.
That is quite the filmography.
It's a crazy film. I think he also did Babe. He has done a lot of interesting things, and this is his latest one. And it looks, I'm watching the trailer right now. I will say interesting CGI.
Yeah.
Is my one thing. CGI looks questionable, but definitely looks crazy. I mean, what are your thoughts? Did you see Fury Road?
I did not see Fury Road. I've seen Babe though.
Wow. You have seen? Did you see Happy Feet?
I don't remember if I did. I feel like I might have.
Oh my god. Maybe we do a double feature Happy Feet and Fury
for an
Road episode. We have not done.
I don't even remember anymore. We've done so many episodes.
We did Surf's Up, which is another Penguin movie from the time.
How it was like a ripoff of Happy Feet. But then you were like, no, it's not. I didn't see either of them, so I think I just said that.
Yeah.
I'm very uninformed. Wait, no, I'm very informed. Well, I'm listening to the podcast.
Yeah. Get us on those film chats.
This podcast won't make you blue like Karsten's mic stand.
Yeah. Once again, not sponsored.
Not sponsored, but it is a good mic stand, you say. Now, we are sponsored by Bird Dogs.
Yeah. Which are we doing that now?
They make amazing shorts, pants, joggers. Birddogs.com.
Yep.
Use our code KCAST.
Get a cool
Whistling Football. As far as I know, that's what the current promotion is. And tremendous stuff. Yeah. I literally wear them like half of the days I'm alive. It's not an exaggeration.
It's not a lot of days, but yeah.
Usually it's not a lot of days. Like that
is a lot.
You're like, well, it's not as many days as you think.
Anyway. Yeah. This one looks pretty good.
So hype rating.
Hype rating is an easy 5.
I invented this hype rating thing on the fly, and I'm really into it.
And it's pretty good. What is your hype rating for
3.
3,000 Years of Longing?
1 for each of the 1,000 Years of Longing.
Yeah. Next is the Elvis trailer, which has been out for a while. I've seen this one in theater.
Elvis, like twice.
You have seen this one. We've all seen it.
It plays before every movie.
They're really. This movie, I don't think we've talked about it a lot on this podcast. Maybe we did talk a little bit with Miles with the Oscar predictions, but it comes out next week, next month, I should say. And I have no idea if I'm going to like this movie or not.
I'm going to see it, though.
It looks like... Oh, absolutely. It looks like it could be
I will
awful,
watch anything Baz Luhrmann directs.
Very fun.
Because even if you don't like it, you're like, well, that was weird.
It's like you're going in knowing you're going to have
like a roller coaster
entertaining time. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing.
Everything's so
like
shiny.
A new Baz Luhrmann movie. Right. I didn't like The Great Gatsby that much, but I was like,
that GIF is one of the best GIFs of all time.
He did provide us the GIF.
The
this year,
was Leo's like, oh.
Yeah, and this one is going to be Tom Hanks with the
the freakish looking Tom Hanks.
Yes, just something to look forward to for all you movie fans. Yeah, it looks. I don't know.
Hype rating.
It looks. Hype rating is like a 3.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too.
Like dead in the center, probably. It just looks like a weird trailer. Also, like, why is Tom Hanks in this movie? I'm sure we'll learn why. But I'm like, why is...
They're trying to give him an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor.
They're trying to get him that Oscar for sure. And what's his name? The Austin Butler, I think, is playing Elvis.
Did you say the Austin Butler? Like it's like a butler from Austin, Texas?
Yeah, the Austin Butler.
No, that guy. He's
really need to
great
turn on.
Serving food on a silver platter.
I thought this was the light to turn on here, and it just turned on
in the
light
closet. I know. I was like, what just happened?
What just happened?
All right. Do you have anything else you want to say about that film?
Not really. It's kind of just
it is what it is. Now, I have a film that I am incredibly excited for. It's a Paramount Plus film. It's coming out like next month. Jerry and Marge Go Large.
Jerry and Marge. Is this like a Barb and Star
situation?
No,
it's based on a true story, unlike Barb and Star, which is not based on a true story at all.
A mathematical loophole in the Massachusetts lottery, and with the help of his wife Marge, he wins millions of dollars. Wait a second. Did we not talk about this?
No, we haven't talked about this.
In the dark right now. I have an ad for the trailer. Do you want to talk about it a little bit while I watch the trailer?
So it's Bryan Cranston and also Annette Bening. And then also Larry Wilmore from the Daily Show 10 years ago. But also Michael McKean's in it. So you got a lot of Breaking Bad universe characters, I guess. Rainn Wilson. And I knew about this story which it's a crazy story about like finding a loophole to where you can win the lottery, like just based on math.
Right. And it's a good loophole.
It's a good loophole to know,
for the record.
Yeah, so
that's one of the biggest.
It just seems like a very fun film.
Absolutely. It looks, from the director of The Devil Wears Prada, which I'm a fan of, as well as Marley and Me, which is fine.
Hype rating for me on this, 5.
Easy 5, yeah.
This seems like a great like casual watch and after. You don't need to hype yourself up to watch this. You just throw it on the TV. Go for it. I hope it's good.
Yeah, it looks fun. It does run the risk of being
It does.
bad.
It absolutely does. That's why
it has a really good. Yeah. The comments are funny. This looks like a comedic version of Breaking Bad, but with lottery tickets, not meth, which is, yeah. Okay, that's a Jerry and Marge Go Large. Hype. My hype meter is at a solid 4.
There
I'm gonna say a 4. I am kind of excited.
Might be bad though, but I hope it's not.
Yeah. Damn, I really should turn on a light, shouldn't I?
Also, the title is Jerry and Marge Go Large.
Right.
That's the best part.
Is it true? Are the names of the characters true too? Is that because if so, it was a story meant to be.
I think so. I think that was the title of the article that it's based on.
Wow, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, that was our trailer section.
Was the trailer
I feel like
section.
we managed to say a lot with what we were given today.
By what we were given, you mean the fact that I didn't watch the movie that we were gonna do?
Yeah, that Jeff was given.
Yeah. I stand by that decision based on your comments on this film, Men.
Absolutely. That's the thing. I'm like, if there was a movie to skip, it was probably this, especially for your case, because you didn't like T10, which is a good, disturbing horror movie.
I feel like I might have liked this more than T10 because I don't like body horror.
So there's a movie coming out, Jeff, that I want to just put on your radar.
Is it
by
called Body
Cronenberg? No, but it's directed by David Cronenberg, called Crimes of the Future. I froze for a little bit there. It's called
you're good.
Crimes,
you're good.
Crimes of the Future. I just want to read you the synopsis to give you an idea.
Okay.
As the human species adapts to a synthetic environment, the body undergoes new transformations and mutations. Accompanied by his partner, celebrity performance artist Saul Tenzer, showcases the metamorphosis of his organs. Meanwhile, a mysterious group tries to use Saul's notoriety to shed light on the next phase of human evolution. It is one of the most body horror movies I've ever heard of. The trailer is absolutely disgusting. There's a man with like 3 ears on his face.
I don't like this. I don't like this.
No, we will definitely not be watching that for the podcast, but I am going to be watching that for my channel.
Your own personal.
There's a picture of him. There's a picture of David Cronenberg and Julia Ducournau, director of T10, together. And I'm like,
and you're like, it's the body horror dream team.
That's they are the dream team. Let's get into questions.
Let's team up and make a film where someone shoves their hand up someone's anus and pulls out their intestines. Pulls out
a Hot Wheel car.
Ooh.
Yeah. Let's look at these questions. This first one comes from Roller Skate Butterfly from the subreddit, and it is, what fictional animal or creature would you want as a pet?
Fictional animal. Now, absolutely not Clifford the Red Dog. The big red dog. That'd be terrible.
We've seen that story too many times. We know how it ends.
The only way I would pick Clifford is I would immediately sell Clifford.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like you could get a lot of money for Clifford.
You could profit off of him as much as possible and then get rid of him, you know?
Yeah.
That's definitely take Clifford out of the situation.
Right. 100%.
Would you have Chip and Dale as your pets?
I want to see the movie, but they seem annoying to be around all the time.
Absolutely. Fuck Alvin and the Chipmunks. They're not coming anywhere near my house.
Like, what was it? Ugly Sonic?
No. Honestly, I would take like something. I would take like this may sound generic and a little like Facebook mom, but I would take a I would take a Pog, like from Star Wars. You know the Pogs, the little
Yeah.
Is that what they're called? Pog, Star Wars.
Yeah. When you said Facebook mom, I started to get concerned.
No, I would take a.
I thought you were gonna say like I would take Ben Shapiro.
Absolutely not. Also froze again, but yeah.
I hope anyone listening to this does not know Ben Shapiro is. Your world will be much brighter,
much cleaner. You say that as I got brighter on the screen. Also, they're called Porgs, not Pogs, which is embarrassing.
Yeah, I didn't know what you were saying at all when you
Poggers
said that.
is a thing from a few years ago. I would probably take one of them.
Porgs? What the hell's a porg?
Porg. It's like I guess it's probably like a pig mixed with, I don't know. But I'm gonna ask this question, then I'm gonna turn on a light.
What about E.T.?
Yeah, it's fine. I wouldn't get rid of him. I wouldn't be thrilled. It's like
better than Mac and Me or Mac from Mac and Me.
Oh, absolutely not Mac and Me.
Mac's a freak.
Yeah.
Mac's a little freak.
This next one comes from Alex Gerson, and it's how do you guys decide what rating to give a movie? Any particular system of ratings? Now, Jeff, you answer this. I'm gonna turn on the light.
Yeah. So when I'm thinking about rating a film, I think about how much did I like this film? And then we just use our Letterboxd scale of 1 to 5, including half stars. And that's how you cook the chicken.
Where did that conversation go?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. To answer the question myself, any particular system of ratings? I do not think that hard about it. In fact,
that's the thing.
I've thought for a while about just like stop rating stuff on Letterboxd.
Like Demi kind of barely rates.
Right. And it's because it's like, who is the people that are like, oh, it's more of a 3 than a 3.5. Like you get so specific about it. I'm like, yeah, just stop.
Now, like the only thing for you is I think it would be very detrimental to your brand to stop rating.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like if
people won't click on it if it's not there's no star rating because they can't get mad at you.
People really love the rating system, and it gives you a very clear numerical value to how I feel about a movie,
right?
And I can't stop doing that. But
the thing about a rating is it's just kind of varies how you're feeling that day.
Exactly.
Like I could watch a movie and like give it a 2 one day, but if I saw it the next day, I'd give it a 3.5. I mean, it's not gonna ever be from like a 2 to a 5, but like it could rate like 1.5 star swing.
Also, it's like anything below a 2, you get the point. You get how that person feels about, like, it's not saying like Men is so much better than Tom and Jerry. Yeah. I mean, I don't like either of the movies that much.
Although you gave Men a 2.5.
I know, but Men I'm going to give a 2.
Wait.
What?
You gave Men a 2.5.
2.5 Men.
2.5 Men. Okay, wait, can we do this song?
What?
You know the theme song?
I've never watched that show in my life.
You don't know the theme song?
I don't know the theme song to 2.5 Men.
It's with John Cryer and Charlie Sheen and Angus.
I know
whatever
who's in
his
the
name
show.
was. You know, but it's like
you sing the theme song.
Manly man.
You're
know that
kidding
song?
Me. That is not the theme song.
That's a theme song for 2.5 Men, and then it like. And then they go in rounds, so that's why I was gonna have you help me because there's 2 different people who sing it. It's like ba 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 ba, and then it goes. Then the kid at the end jumps in, and then in the later seasons he grows up in the. It's like a really bad CGI of him like growing up and becoming a man.
This is not a real show. This sounds like a parody of a sitcom.
Then they kicked Charlie Sheen off the show because he did the whole like tiger blood thing. And
we all know that.
Ashton Kutcher came on.
And I remember when that happened, people were pissed.
Yeah.
That is so funny. I've never heard that theme in my life, but maybe I'll look it up after this. I think I'm too young for the 2.5 Men era, I think. Because I barely knew what was happening with Charlie Sheen.
I mean, it wasn't a good era, let's be real.
No.
But it was just like, this was kind of still when they would syndicate reruns before streaming. So when I was in like high school, I would just like, put it on the TV when I get home from school and there would just be an episode playing. Because we didn't have anything better to do because it was primitive technology days.
Yeah.
We just had like 68 channels or something, and then that was on one of them. And like 3 of them were just Christian pastors like trying to sell you stuff.
Yeah. Times have evolved.
And then there was just a 24-hour loop of Sports Center happening.
Now kids listen to the Cars Cast.
Now kids listen to the Cars Cast. That's much better.
Much better.
We don't try to sell you stuff.
Health.
Oh wait.
What?
We do try to sell you stuff.
We do try to
But like they're good things we try to sell you. It's we're not trying to sell you on Christian stuff.
Right.
We're trying to sell you bird dogs. Use code
We're not
KCAST.
trying to sell you On Men, the Christian movie.
Yeah. We're definitely not. That's a 2.5.
No, that's a bad movie. This last one, this third one is a whopping 3-parter. And it is, when is the last time you tried something new? Were you satisfied? And it comes from Nicole is doing fine, by the way. When is the last time you tried something new? Were you satisfied with your choice to try that new thing? What's something that you want to try sometime in the future?
Okay, so the most recent new thing I tried was this kind of like dried berry that is like similar to a raisin.
Okay.
I forget what it's called though.
Yeah.
And I tried it and it was horrible. It was just like, imagine if a raisin had a worse texture but also didn't taste like anything.
That does sound awful. That's like not what you want out of that kind of food.
No, you want like a little bit of sweetness and a nice chew.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds bad. I was hoping for a positive. So you weren't satisfied with that choice.
Yeah, I was not at all satisfied.
What's
with
something
choice.
that you want to try in sometime in the future though? Like, what's a new thing you've never?
You know, something I have tried in the last few months. Ignore that Chair Creek. Is I haven't ever really been a PC gamer before.
Okay. Yeah.
But I got a PC, you know, because I'm going to start editing our Carscast episodes.
Yeah.
And I've also started to game a little bit on it. And I've been playing with my brother Jared, friend of the pod, this game called Trackmania that you saw. You jumped in the stream Jared was doing where we were there. And it's just like a car time trial game that's free to play. And it's fun. And like there's the YouTuber Virtual. He's this Norwegian guy who like makes Trackmania videos and they're really good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's been fun.
I was addicted to Trackmania in high school. Like me and all my friends played Trackmania on our PCs. It is a great game. It's
because this is like the new one that came out like 2 years ago.
When I saw you playing it, I was like, "Oh my god, Trackmania,
dude! You should play. We should play it.
I would be down. I'd be down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because that means you're gonna have like a little bit of like skill that more than I do. Since you like, you're gonna have retained some of it for sure.
It's been years. Since I got on the track, got behind the wheel. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
What is something new you have tried?
I guess this is sort of an answer, but I mentioned billiards pool earlier. And I went to the bar the other night and played pool with like strangers for kind of the first time, which is not. I've always been playing it with like friends and family. And
did you go alone?
No, I was with Jaxie. But,
okay.
They were just like, "Do you want to play?" And I was like, it was like 3 older guys, and I was like, "Yeah, like I'll hop in." And it was nerve-wracking because it's a very intimidating sport.
Right, and you don't want to like embarrass yourself.
I know. I didn't want to embarrass, so I like gave it my all, and it went. I was very satisfied with my choice to try that new thing. To answer that question,
that sounds really fun.
I really like pool. I love the idea of having like a regular bar to go to and going there frequently and playing pool.
Would you ever buy a pool table to like, you know, play at home, refine your skills?
I've been thinking about it. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I'm able to do that.
In your new place?
I don't have room for it. No.
Yeah, I don't know why did I ask that? How would you have room for a pool table? You're like, yeah, I have a 2-bedroom apartment. Here's the living room. Here's my bedroom. Here's the pool table room.
That's
all that fits.
I have that reserved.
The room.
Yeah, I'm like, I sleep on the couch because I want to make room for the pool table room.
You're like, actually, I sleep on the pool table. I just chuck a mattress up there.
Just flip it over.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you could, though.
You could.
Now that we're thinking that through, you could just get a mattress topper and use the pool table as a mattress. Should you buy a pool table to do your bed?
Are we doing this? I
don't know. Are you thinking when I'm
Yeah. To answer what's something that you want to try sometime in the future, I want to
sleeping on a pool table.
I want to break that puppy in, you know, see what that's like. Yeah. So that answers that question. I got to talk about my new pool phase.
Yeah, I am excited for you. because you know that the meme where it's like you're done being friends with the one guy, like my new friend is this guy.
Yep.
You're done being friends with the boxing gym. Your new friend is pool.
The very short the difference between the boxing gym and this is that the boxing gym I was so aggressively bad at that I was like, there's no way I can come back to this place. But pool, I feel confident enough to like get back.
I just had this like image of the same thing happening that you said with pool with like 3 older guys, but with boxing. We're like, hey man, you want to like box with us? And they just beat the shit out of you.
Like, oh god, oh no, oh please, it's my first time. If they asked this question like 5 months ago when that was happening, my answer would be very different, and I'd feel a lot worse about it.
I'm really happy for your newfound pool love.
Thank you. That was probably the worst, the most unsatisfied I've ever been with trying something new was the boxing thing. Yeah. I've never been more upset. Anyway, those are questions.
And those were answers.
Those were our answers. Next week, let's get into the wrap up. Next week's
let's
movie.
Do that. Next week's movie.
Say, how do we feel about Chip and Dale?
We could talk about it. Let's say that's our going movie, and we'll discuss further.
Yeah. I'm very down. People are more interested in it than I thought, so I feel like it could be a cool podcast movie. But let's think on it. Let's put it down.
I think you should watch it anyways.
Absolutely. But whatever happens, we're ruling out Crimes of the Future, directed by David Cronenberg. I don't think.
That's not going to be on the pod. That's not going to be on the pod. We're also ruling out watching Titan again.
Yeah, that would be a stretch. Our first rewatch is not going to be T10.
Yeah, I'm just like watching it like this. I actually did actually watch it like that. I'm going to be honest with you. I did actually do this.
Yeah.
And watch it through like the little holes in my fingers for parts of it.
There was a scene that I did the same. I was like, I can't look at this part, but great. And it was the nose part. I think I could not watch that scene. Anyway, so next week, maybe Chip and Dale. Next, we like to read a review because we love to hear what you guys think about this podcast.
Especially Karsten. He has a big ego.
I need this validation. Yeah, I'm craving it. I'm also trying to search Chartable, and it's just simply not letting me. But we think it helps us in the long run.
I think it does, and also I like reading them. Even if it did not help the algorithm, I do enjoy reading what people have to say.
You know what? I'm ditching Chartable entirely and just going to Apple Podcasts. This one.
If this doesn't work, I'll give a review.
The subject line is Kasten Podquist. Comes from not Victor, but the T is a 7. I'm gonna assume that's a T. And the review reads, I too am pretentious, therefore this podcast is right up my nightmare alley. Now, that's a play on words there.
That's a good review.
Yeah. Thank you, not Victor, for the 5 stars.
Whoever you are, we know you're not Victor.
We know you are definitely not Victor. And lastly, we gotta thank the lovely patrons
from
over
patreon.com/Karstcast,
which I think my mom just became a patron today, but I could be wrong.
Well, I guess we'll see on that read.
Yeah, I could have just maybe it was probably the other Patreon. But if you want to become a patron, support us. Now's a great time to do so. It really supports the podcast. You get tons of cool perks.
Yeah, you get 2 extra episodes where we answer more questions. We play some GeoGuessr, maybe some Trackmania.
Yep.
Also, we do a Zoom patron hangout once a month, which is going to be coming up in the next 9 days.
Yes, we need to do that. So yeah, become a patron. Get some cool perks. Get extra
virtually high five Karsten Runquist
content. Yeah. It'll be great.
I do it all the time. High five.
Thank you, Alex Thomas, Anson Contreras, Belly, Big Beard, Pirate, Caden Fowler, Camilla Coop, David Borslow, David Sir, Eden, Eli Brow, Finn Richardson, Gavin Gibson, Goodnight Tail, Grant Gow, John Van Hout, Joshua Hughes, Katie T. Let's change the Google search results for PTA. Leah Butriago, Ramirez Tamayo, Leavin, just leaving for now. Liv Rob, Lukewarm, Maddie Robertson, Martin Deff, Marilee Borslow, Maxine Schmidt, Meridian, Michael, Monopoly Shrimp on the Barbie, Monroe Page, Owen Felton, Pasta, Portrait d'un Totino en Fou, Queen of Staten Island, Quentin Martini, Riley Ost, Ryan M., Sean Kenny, Stella Perry, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, Smitty Werbin, Jagerman Jensen, Taylor Hearts to Watch the Movie, 10 Billion, The Raccoon from Airbud's 7th Inning, Fetch, Wes Kinley, Wiley Todd, Yusef A. Zoinks, Zoe, and Zoe Hernandez McDonald.
Zoe Hernandez McDonald.
Yeah.
And just know that you can change your name, or if you want to become a patron, you can make your name anything, and Karsten has to read it.
That is not true, but there is.
It's a law.
There's an option to change your name, but if it's some things, I will not read it.
He won't read it if it's like offensive to someone or too vulgar. If it's like a little bit vulgar, you could probably get away with it. Karsten will read it.
If it says Karsten Rundquist is a piece of shit, I'm not reading it.
No, he's gonna.
I'm gonna say
he's gonna
Karsten
read
Rundquist is a hot piece of ass. Next, we like to say goodbye. Jeff, anything else to say?
I guess you know what, Karsten? I don't have anything else to say. I'm just kidding. Catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side.